Circe knew Odysseus better than most gods did. She'd watched him, watched how his mind worked, how he couldn't walk away from a puzzle. So when she told him what lay ahead, she didn't frame it as a danger. She framed it as a choice. The Sirens, two of them on a rocky island between him and home. Their voices carried across the water in a way that defied wind and distance. Every sailor who'd heard them had steered toward the shore, not panicked, not confused, deliberately. Like men walking toward something they'd waited their whole lives to find. Nobody survived it. The shore around their island was nothing but bleached bones and rotting timber, ships that had tried to reach them, broken apart on the rocks. And yet the men had gone willingly. That's what Circe kept returning to. Not that the song was beautiful, that the men had wanted it to be true. The morning they sailed toward the Sirens' island, the wind died. Odysseus took that as a sign, not of fate, but of logistics. He ordered the men to take up oars. 36 oarsmen pulling in rhythm, driving the ship through a sea that had gone glass flat and strange. He didn't explain where they were going. He told them to row. They rowed. He'd already filled a block of beeswax, kneaded it soft in the heat of his hands, and divided it into portions, one for each man's ears. Circe's instruction, precise and practical. The crew would row deaf. They'd feel the oars, feel the spray, feel the burn in their shoulders, and nothing else. They wouldn't know what they were rowing past, wouldn't hear their captain when he screamed. That was the plan. That was what Odysseus had agreed to. He just hadn't agreed to seal his own ears. He'd expected beauty. What he got was something worse. The Sirens didn't sing about love or pleasure or promises of paradise. That's the version people remember, but it isn't what Homer wrote. They called to him by name, Odysseus, greatest of the Greeks, and they told him they knew everything, every event that had ever happened on the wide earth, every hero's death at Troy, every choice he had made to survive it. They knew what it had cost him. They were offering to tell him if it had meant anything. That's what he heard, lashed to that mast. Not temptation, clarity. The possibility that someone, something, could look at the whole of his life and give it a verdict. Say, yes, it was worth it. Say, here is what you couldn't see while you were living it. He screamed at his crew to untie him. They rowed harder. Think about what it took for those men to keep rowing. Eurylochus, Odysseus' second in command, was pulling an oar with wax packed in his ears, watching his captain thrash against the ropes, watching him point and plead and rage. He couldn't hear the screaming, but he could see it. And Circe had told them, if the captain signals to be freed, tie the ropes tighter. So they did. They trusted a man who was, in that moment, visibly losing his mind. Because he told them to trust him before the island came into view, back when he could still think straight. They had to believe that the man he'd been an hour ago knew something. The man he was now had forgotten. Odysseus heard everything. The full song. The complete offer. He understood exactly what he was being denied, and the ship moved on, stroke by stroke, past the island into open water. The wax came out. The island fell behind them. Nobody spoke for a long time. Odysseus had heard the song, all of it, and survived. That was supposed to be the victory. The Greeks would later call it cleverness, self-mastery, the triumph of reason over instinct. But there's something in Homer that doesn't fit that reading. When Odysseus finally reaches Ithaca, when he's home, he weeps at a bard's song. A stranger singing about the war, about the men he lost, about decisions he made. He weeps and can't explain why to the people around him. Maybe the Sirens gave him something after all, not the knowledge he wanted, but the understanding that he wanted it. That somewhere in him was a man who needed the full account, the final reckoning, the answer to whether it had added